I'm Mark Tilley from Dirtbike Magazine, and welcome back to the 19s video series. This is actually our last one in the video series. We're getting our first chance to ride the 2019 KTM 450 Factory Edition. As everybody knows, this bike was brand new for 2019, so we're thinking the Factory Edition, a little bit of bling parts here and there, and some Red Bull graphics, but that's really not the case here. There's a lot more beneath the surface. So let's talk about the obvious changes, what we can see with the eye. It's got an orange frame, it's got an Akrapovic slip-on silencer, different wheels, different triple clamps, the gray ODI lock-on grips, the Red Bull graphics, the gripper seat cover, the front disc guard, the floating front rotor, the composite skid plate, the launch control device on the front fork, and the anodized rear sprocket. Some of you might notice on the fork and the shock, they've changed the name of them. So the new name for the fork and shock setup that comes on the motocross models is Exact. And then after that, it'll have the designation of what kind of technology is inside there. For this year, it's called Exact. We made fun of it because they're basically exactly the same as what came on the 2019 model, with the difference being some minor modifications in the fork, and the shock got some more adjustment out of it. So that's what you can see. What you can't see internally in the engine, they lightened up the rocker arms. There's a new panel rod with a brass bushing and a brand new box-in-box CP piston. So we just got done with our first full day of testing on the 2019 Factory Edition 450. A couple things jump at us right away. The bike does have a little bit more snap-off bottom, and it carries a little bit harder through the mid-range. Some of our riders like that, some of our test riders didn't. If you're a person that liked the 19 model and liked flowing through corners and using momentum a little bit more than just using the power, you're probably not gonna like the new setup. You're gonna like the number 2 map that's kind of a cross between the two. The new number 1 map is pretty aggressive off bottom and in the mid. Suspension wise, the bike is a little bit more rider friendly. It's not as stiff as 2019 standard model. Most of our riders felt a little bit more comfortable on it. Ride around in the video is Sean Lipinovich. He's on the smaller side of what a 450 rider would be. Particularly, I'm a little bit on the larger side of what a rider should be. And then we had another test rider that was kind of right in the middle. But we all basically said the same thing. There is more rider comfort, maybe still a little bit on the stiff side, but we can address that the more we test. Another thing that all the test riders commented on was the note of the Akrapovic exhaust. They like that it's not really loud, that it just is kind of a quieter bike, and you can kind of think a little bit more when you're riding the bike. A couple more things that were unanimous throughout the test riders was the new gray grip is actually a softer compound. Everybody liked that. And then the seat cover. Nobody likes this seat cover. It's really abrasive on your bottom after riding for a long period of time. You can take it from 22 millimeter that's standard down to a 20 millimeter by removing the clamp, moving the steering stem about a quarter turn in there, and reinstalling it. So that's a really cool thing, and something that no other manufacturer is doing at this time. Now, we did get a little bit of time to test the different offsets of the triple clamps and 20 millimeter. Most riders liked on the tighter tracks, like more supercross style. The 22 on maybe the wide open style tracks like Glen Helen, Kahia. We are gonna do a lot more testing with that feature. Again, this is our first full day of testing on the 2019 Factory Edition. We are gonna spend a lot more time on this bike. We gotta get it back to the studio, get it on the scale, see if some of these bling parts might have added some weight to it, or maybe even dropped some weight. So for the full story, look for an upcoming issue of Dirtbike Magazine. And as always, go to dirtbikemagazine.com for the latest off-road and motocross industry news. If you've missed any of the 2019 motocross model videos, click on the 450 playlist now.